It's easier.
Yeah, it gets easier.
Yo, it's D and Wealth from the Wealthy Podcast. We finally got the episode coming to you. We're going to drop every week or so. If we don't, just stay tuned. We're going to have all of our different information under the description below. So please like, subscribe, follow us on Instagram, TikTok.
Like, subscribe, comment, motherfucker.
Yep, and we're just going to kick it. See, we got the first episode with Mark Harley, one of the legends of bodybuilding, man. That dude's a beast.
Fucking go, motherfucker.
So we're gonna have a lot more special guests on here. It's not gonna be just wealthy people. It's just gonna be random ass people that we know and love. So stay tuned and let's get at it. Watch the first episode. Hey guys, welcome to the Wealthy Podcast. We got Nico, my boy, Wealth the Barber. And we got
That was a good sound. I think I'm on command.
And then we got Mark Harley, the man himself.
What up, everybody? Haters will say this podcast never happened. So hold that L.
For real. And then check out his podcast every Tuesday, right?
Every Tuesday, haters will say it's like it's loosely based in fitness, but it's basically whatever I want to talk about. I talk about books and philosophy and gym fails and like dating advice and all sorts of different stuff, but there's at least some fitness and nutrition advice in each episode. I just try to make it fun.
Yeah, that's pretty dope. That's dope. I've seen a couple episodes.
Nice.
Awesome content.
Thank you for watching.
Yeah, heck yeah, man. Heck yeah. Big
So,
fan.
for the people who don't know who the fuck you are, you
Yeah.
want to give them like a fucking rundown who the fuck you are,
Yeah,
where the fuck you from.
that's a good question because, and oftentimes people will try to they won't consult with me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is a bodybuilder. I'm like, well, I wouldn't lead with Mark as a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
Like I train, kind of in that style, but I would consider myself a comedic actor and podcaster primarily. I do train people. I do know a bit about fitness. I don't present myself as a guru, but if you have muscles as a guy, people are constantly coming up to you like, how do you do that?
Yeah. They put you in a box.
Yeah.
Well, that's one thing. I was saying people ask for your advice,
Oh,
but
okay,
that's fine. Maybe they are putting me in advice
Yeah.
in a box too, in a positive way of you are this thing to me, and I need to get like you. But to me, I try to be generous with my time about helping people get motivated for fitness because that can change your whole life. If a 5-minute conversation with somebody can put them on the right path, then do I necessarily want to work with them every single day for the rest of their lives to get skinny?
Yeah.
But some people, most people just don't know anything about tracking calories, about what to start if they've been, sedentary their whole lives. So a big part of it is you can just be check out this YouTube channel that has good advice for beginners, whatever it is. So
Yeah. No, that's awesome, bro.
Yeah.
That's good content as well.
So
Yeah.
where are you originally from, bro?
I am originally from California. I was born and raised near Sacramento in Davis, California. And then I just moved around to a lot of different cities. So I just consider myself a California boy. I've lived in, aside from Lake Oswego, which is outside of Portland, Oregon, briefly growing up, I lived in Ojai, Santa Barbara, Ventura, Sacramento, San Rafael, Claremont, a number of different cities that moved around, had to be the new kid. So, you
I fucking
you
know
develop that defense mechanism.
That's crazy that you say Portland because I was born in
Oh, no way.
I was born in Oregon, raised in East LA. It was cool wherever the fuck.
Yeah, I was very young in Portland, but I have the most fond memories of being in Portland because we had more land. I'd catch snakes. There was it has the forest outdoor vibe.
Oh, it's fucking beautiful.
So I really had this nostalgia for my childhood in Portland. And it still is a nice city. I think it's kind of been screwed over lately with protests from different political factions, and the mayor kind of doesn't want to do this is my loose understanding, but it's it's not a place I would move to now because it just seems kind of chaotic.
What, Oregon?
Portland, Oregon. I mean, there's lots of nice cities in Oregon.
Oregon? If I'm correct, I think they're trying to make shrooms recreational or some shit.
Yeah.
That's
Heard something
awesome.
like
No, my buddy's actually starting a business he's going to start a cannabis company, but he started to grow mushrooms to I'm like, wait, is he doing that legally or not? I don't know.
All right,
I do think it is. I mean, why not? If weed's legal, people are typically very ignorant about psychedelics, but just telling everybody where I am. By the way, I sent a picture. I'm to the group text with everybody that I'm staying with in the Airbnb, and David Luca goes, "You're going to end up like the white cop in Training Day." And we were saying earlier, what did he say to me? Because we were talking about you, because you guys met them. Brendan, David Chappelle, everyone at the show on the. Were you there? Yeah, you were there last night.
Yeah,
the night before.
was it last night?
No, Thursday.
Thursday. Okay, the first show on Thursday.
Yeah.
And they brought up, was somebody going to get their hair cut by you even?
Yeah, it was Brandon. Yeah, or Brendan.
Yeah,
Brandon
maybe
shot.
you said like next time. But
Yeah, I was like, I'll fucking cut your hair.
Yeah. And so I think we looked at your page and saw that you're good or whatever, but and I made a joke about I want to get my hair cut by him. And David Lucas says, no, you need to go to PetSmart to get your cut. You know? He has some of the funniest roasts. Yeah. The first time he saw me, he's like, you look like a muscular bobcat. Is what
A muscular bobcat. That's fucking hilarious.
He's hilarious, bro. He's the best at roasting.
And original, too, because like some people will come at me online. As you probably, if you've seen the podcast, I'll read like hater of the week, like this dumbass is saying this, you know, and just kind of like rate.
So I gotta ask, how do you deal with that? Like, when you know what I'm saying, like with the, not necessarily like the hate, but like, you know what I'm saying, like the negative fucking comments, like, you know, I'm like, cause I started blowing up on TikTok. I got like some fame on TikTok, and it's like, damn, some of the comments, I'm like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
dickhead, you know what I'm saying? But how do you personally deal with that?
That's an interesting topic, and I'll try to like, you know, I have a few little compartments of thoughts that I'd say on it, but I'll try to relate it to what I assume you get, which is appearance-based shit.
Yeah, of course.
Making fun of your tattoos or making assumptions or just like reducing you down to something.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, you put all those tattoos on your face. You didn't have to. So it's not as if, like, first of all, people might misread, like I'm going to get this angle of attack on him and try to shame him for, like, a choice that I made that I like on my body, you know?
Yeah.
So same thing with my hair or, like, I just feel like when guys come at you online, because it's 99.999% male, right? Like,
it's like dudes attacking dudes.
Yeah, no, for real.
So I deal with it because at my age, number one, I'm 38, and when I was much younger,
there's no fucking
bro. He's legit like the most beautifulest man I've seen.
I know. I'm like, damn,
like,
let's good looking dude. I'm like, good dude.
Maybe half gay, just a little half gay.
Are we all? You know. But like when you are in your teens, for example, there was a point like I never thought I was ugly, but like maybe somebody says something to you that day. And it makes you insecure and kind of like makes you go into that space where you're like questioning something. That doesn't happen anymore because if you have enough self-awareness and knowledge, like you become over time and experiences, and even just like playing football and being in a frat and like being around guys constantly, like this friend group now that I'm in the Airbnb with, they're going to be the first person to give you shit about anything that's off. But you're also going to know like the things that aren't off. You know what I mean? Or the things that like you have confidence about. Like if I really... to preface this, guys will come at me on my page and be like, make jokes about me having Botox and lip fillers, and I'm like, but I don't. And now you're just the dude telling me my lips are too juicy to be believable or something, you know, like, do you realize? So I try to be
kind of a little sus. I like how guys, like, the first thing, I wouldn't even fucking thought about it. I ain't gonna lie, the eyes, I'm like, yo, dude, guys fucking lucky motherfucker.
I know, bro.
I was like, lucky fucking guy,
dude,
man,
right.
yeah?
And I just feel like, and I try to compliment, like, homophobia is understandable as a guy because, like, if you're a man and trying to be masculine, a lot of your reputation kind of like, if somebody says like, oh, you're secretly gay, that does harm us because girls don't want to date a secretly gay. Right? So, like, you want to be like, it doesn't matter at all if somebody accused, but it does, but you have to realize why they're doing it, or it's not like personal, or it can come from a place of like, just being insecure because, like, it takes security within yourself to give a man a compliment. Yeah. You know? To be like...
I mean, which is weird that we're brought up that fucking way, you know?
Yeah,
like,
but it's very pervasive, and it's almost... I remember the first guys I met who were, like, in college, who were like, hey, man, you're a really cool dude. I like hanging out with you. And I was almost like... like I had to make a joke about it.
Like a fucking gay meter went off or
right,
something.
Yeah. I was uncomfortable receiving a compliment from a man.
Yeah.
Not realizing, like, they're just being totally sincere... and grateful and just expressing that, and it's my issue if I can't deal with somebody like telling me a kind thing that's on their mind. So that's what I think about too. Is like, if you know, if I were acting that way online, and I've had those negative thoughts and things like that, you just realize like I've already won. I'm very competitive verbally when it comes to like debating politics or this. Like I always have that instinct. I try not to do it because it'd be a waste of time.
Yeah.
But like, I go back and forth with people to like win, to have that feeling of winning, which is like, not saying it's for everybody. Most people should block your haters or just do like ignore whatever is your best strategy. For me, I can make fun and content out of responding to these people and kind of like getting them to react more or getting them to say more ridiculous shit.
Yeah.
You know, like if you're accusing me of having Botox and lip fillers, but also telling me I look 60, so it's like, wait, I'm having surgery to look younger on my face, but I'm also a senior citizen, and you know, also I'm a failed actor, but also you just saw me on a commercial on TV, or you know, all you get them to contradict themselves because they've started with a conclusion.
And nobody's doing that content. Nobody's. They're all like trying to refrain from doing that. Like, hey, don't.
Right.
Talk,
you know
what I
people
mean?
even tell me, and it's like you're not. Somebody random will message me like, hey, I don't know why you give attention to all these haters, and it's like, I try not to be too mean because I know they're coming from a good place, like almost like you're looking out for me. You know, but it's like. Believe me, I've thought of that. Yeah. I know that's an option, and I know most people do that. Yeah. But for now, at this moment in my life, I have enough time. And even when things ramp up and I get busy, it's like, oh, fuck it. You just can't, right? I'll be blessed to be at a point where I have 1 million followers, and I'm so busy that I have somebody else running my social media. But for now, it's like I like to present a blueprint to people of like, you don't have to ignore and block every hater. If you engage them in a calm way, they're going to sound stupid.
That's fucking hilarious.
You know?
That's what happens with my like whenever I go live on TikTok, I have like 130,000 followers on TikTok and shit. When I go live, it's what the fuck is up with this dude's fucking middle school desk face?
Yeah,
I'm like,
I'm a nobody, so
to me,
right? Well,
I don't know any of these problems, bro. I don't know any of these problems.
I'm like, to me, it's funny because you know what? I learned because I read a lot. I read a fucking shit ton. I dropped out of high school, whatever the fuck. I actually love to read. I enjoy reading.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, my favorite book, 48 Laws of Power. Fucking fire,
It's
bro.
a great book. Yeah.
You know, it talks about take the, like, whenever, you know what I'm saying, like, everyone talks about, like, you know what I'm saying, oh, they hate, bro. Hate is not hate. Hate is love. People hate you, supposedly, because they inspire to be you. You know what I'm saying? They're mad because whoever you are naturally, they cannot fucking be you.
I've heard that it is love and jealousy at the same time. That's what equals hate.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, that's what I
heard. These are like, they hit on things where you go, you know, the opposite of, like, adulation or love or whatever, like, extreme positive adjective is not hate, it's indifference. If people were indifferent to you, so I know it's like, I go back and forth with hater, but I go like, whatever this percentage of people is, I'm causing them to have a reaction. And as an influencer, you want some sort of reaction. You don't want universal approval because then you're obviously playing it too safe. I do want to risk being a little bit edgy, not for the sake of it, not just to be like, look, I used the N-word, like, you know, I'm making rape jokes, you know, just, but if it's clever enough, you can push little boundaries and some portion of the population is going to push back. I think it says you're on the right track, but as you guys are saying, because part of my narrative is like, as you get more mature, if you can understand why people are coming at you, it actually almost allows you to drop it immediately. You know, you're like, oh, I see why, you have a misunderstanding of even your own emotions. Because if you, or, you know, if anybody here saw something online that they felt that, like if I saw something like, fuck, we would catch ourselves. Mature people catch themselves. I'm not, you have that thought, and then you let it go.
Time.
No,
you go, oh, that sounds salty and that sounds stupid. It makes me look bad and immature. And if I found out that any of my friends, like, were doing that kind of shit online, like going on strangers' pages and telling, like, insulting their face, I'd be like, hey, like, dude, are you in middle school?
Because you know what's important,
That's
bro? It's
ridiculous.
Like, fucking words. Words are powerful as fuck. Let's not get that shit twisted. But they're as powerful as you let them be.
Yes. Yeah. So it's like...
It's about how much power you give that, you know what I'm saying? How much power you're going to give someone over you.
And part of my approach is to literally go, like, let's dissect your words and take away the power. What do you mean when you say that? I'm going to read
I love
your
that
lines.
content. I love watching it, too. That's awesome. Like, how you do that as well.
Yeah, and it's, again, it's not an approach for everybody, but I like, anybody goes, like, why do you do this? I always do the Bane thing where it's like, I was born talking shit on the internet. Adapted to it.
That's hilarious. No,
I didn't start arguing, you know. Like,
How'd you get into the Thick Boy Studio? Like, how did all that get together for people to know?
Yes,
like,
the real origin story is how I met Chappelle.
Oh, okay.
Because I became friends with him first. So I've been in LA forever, and you know, I've lots of friends in LA. I'm not necessarily looking for like new male friends all the time, right? Yeah. But my good buddy Todd is a stand-up comedian and produces shows as well for Don't Tell Comedy. He was buddies with Chappelle, and I think Chappelle had somewhat recently moved to LA, you know, but look, a lot of people move to LA and, you know, don't make it. I think Chappelle's trajectory is pretty fast because he's really talented and good at what he does. So my car had broken down. Todd was letting me borrow his car like while I looked for a new one.
Mm-hmm.
Chappelle needed to borrow the car that Todd was letting me borrow to go to a show in like Oxnard or something, 90 minutes away.
Yeah.
So he was like, hey, can you let Chappelle borrow the car for the night? Go pick up him. You drive back to your place. He takes the car, goes there and comes back, and then, you swap again. And so in that car ride, basically, and first of all, I was expecting an Indian dude for some reason, because it sounded like, I don't know, like, does Chappelle sound Indian to you? Like,
doesn't sound like a black name.
My name is Chappelle, ex-Canadian, so, I was not expecting a giant black dude, so, who likes punk rock, but then, like,
cheerleading too.
Yeah, but I kind of got to know a little bit, like, we were, like, going back and forth about bands right away in the car, and I forget what even sparked it, but like instantly we were cool. And then what happens, because this is how you really become friends with guys these days, is you got to work out with a guy, or at least I do.
Yeah, for sure. That's honestly how we got.
Yeah, because you can't. I'm not going to have time for coffee dates.
Holy shit!
Oh, dang.
Son of a bitch.
I was just looking at your phone, Mike. Did it hit the phone? Did it hit any of the electronics?
Fucking mushrooms, man.
Wait, did you take mushrooms before?
No, I fucking wish. My mom fucking took them all. I'm fucking lucky, pretty pissed.
Okay, so I'll finish up the story. He was like, I want to start working out with you. And Chappelle would show up to work out with me every day, which is rare because I've tried to help out some guys, like, work out and figure it out. The bottleneck there is, like, if you're not going to be on time or you're going to, like, make my workout last longer, like, or bullshit in any way. Like, I remember working out with this one guy, and it was kind of like, he would just take too long to get ready. He'd be like, hey, like, let's go to the gym. Okay, cool. 20 minutes later, all right, just took a shit. I'm going to put on my clothes. 30 minutes later, all right, man, I'm just heading out the door. It's like, dude, fucking get in your car and go over there.
Man.
So that was one thing. And then he would just kind of like, intensity level is a big thing that, like Chappelle understands, because if you're a competitive athlete, it's like just giving your all in something competitive, I think, teaches you how to, for example, go to failure. A lot of people are scared. You find out, like, if you've just started doing lifting and you've never done team sports and you're 30 years old, you might not understand what failure is. Like going, until you can't do another rep. I'll be like, do this as many times as you can. They'll hit 10. I'm like, you had 9 more in you, at least. So that's one thing where I'm just saying all that to be like, I like working out with athletes, and Chappelle would come up, we wouldn't bullshit, we'd do the workout, we'd hang out afterwards, but like, we almost wouldn't like talk during the thing. You'd take it really seriously, do whatever I asked, and I hate having to be like, all right, we're doing this, and then somebody goes, oh, I don't really feel. I'm like,
I know.
Shut the fuck up!
Come on,
you're doing my workout.
Yeah, exactly.
So
what gym do you go to?
At that time, it was 24.
24.
And I'd been working out with Chappelle, and then during the pandemic, I guess Brendan didn't know about zoo culture, and in the meantime, like during the pandemic, Chappelle was hired on full time, with the fighter and the kids, so he was spending a lot more time with Chappelle, and they decided to go to check out this gym, Zoo Culture. Maybe Brendan had met Bradley or something like that, but it was like they were both like getting free memberships, so that was another enticement, right? They go there, went once, and then like the next day, Chappelle was like, hey, Brendan really wants to meet you. Can you come to Zoo? I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, I'll go put him through a workout. We meet. It was cool. We had a good workout. We did legs, but it wasn't like a formal like, all right, guys, we're doing this. I'm like, what do you guys feel like hitting? Like, how about that?
Yeah, I'm nice. What the fuck does like your normal workout routine look like?
I will get to that and tell you about it because it's another complex answer. But the punchline to this story is just that everything goes well. We start working out more, and then later Chappelle was like, Brendan didn't tell me to bring you to the workout. He just set me up. He's like, oh man, he wants to meet you. And then Brendan's nice enough, he didn't say anything. Like, who the fuck is this guy? We just started working out, but like he admitted to me, he's like, no, it wasn't like, he was like, get Mark. In Brendan's eyes, I just showed up at the gym. But that one, because again, like then I, became friends with Brendan because we just try to hit Zoo Culture, 3 days a week, and that's something that as busy as Brendan is, it's nice to have like a few gym partners and stay motivated to get in there. I'm going to do it regardless, and I have other clients that I hit the gym for and sometimes work out with, so I just spend more time in the gym.
Gotcha.
Brendan's doing multiple podcasts today and has a family and wife and kid, So it's
that man's busy.
You do have to get it in when you can and be routinized and just, try to show up. Mm-hmm. But Zoo Culture was cool because they, bucked the whole mask mandate. So that was another thing that Brendan really liked. Was like, it fucking sucks to work out with a mask on. Who wants to do that?
Yeah, that shit was ridiculous.
One of the worst fucking things ever, dude.
Yeah, such a joke. And zoo culture never had like an epidemic of COVID or anything. So it's like all these people were working out there the whole time.
Yeah.
You'd think like the proof would be in the pudding. So I think LA is like dropping all the lawsuits against him, but they were like the city was coming after him.
I saw that.
I just saw the podcast with the Nelk Boys or with the Food Stand podcast where they had, you know what I'm saying, my boy, and he was talking about it. He was like, dude, they would have, I think it was like the health department used to fucking come in and harass them.
Yeah, they're
they would shut down the like electricity. So Brad said he was running a generator that cost him like, I think he said something like $5,000, $6,000, $8,000 a month. I remember just hearing like, I'm like, yeah, that's insane. On top of the rent, you're spending this crazy amount of money just to like literally keep the lights on or run the music. So that was interesting to hear that, and just that now it cost Brad a lot of money, I'm sure, but he did take a principled stand. And like even the legal argument's interesting because you are basically saying when all the studios opened up, he's like, we can open up too because we produce content here.
Yeah.
This is a content gym, and there's really, I can't think of another one like it in LA because most gyms really try to discourage you from filming or doing anything. And like, I shoot crazy sketches there where I'm throwing things around. You know what I mean? It's not encouraged because that helps to promote the gym, and it's just that is like the culture of zoo culture is like, come film your shit here.
Yeah,
and it's okay.
Yeah, dude, it's free.
We've been fucking talking about flying the fuck out there just to even get in there.
Oh yeah,
because I want to see like his. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. There's a lot of people like tattoos are more common nowadays, but I want to see like what people's reactions when the fuck they see me in the fucking gym. Like, what the fuck?
Well, you know what's funny is like, because I came up in sketch comedy where like, when I first started doing video sketches, we do more elaborate shoots, and it would be like written in script format, and then you just plan it out a lot more. And nowadays, like because of the certain demands of things like TikTok and the internet in general, you have a loose idea, or just kind of like you'll show up to a place and shoot a sketch, just like, well, let's look around and what can we use, what's going to be funny, and you talk it out right there. And actually, like if you practice that, you kind of end up preferring it. And I was going to say with you, like people would probably look at you and be able to come up with like lots of like, oh, what can you play?
Yeah,
you can play the Cholo gang leader or something, whatever it is, or just or any joke about like you being super articulate after people make an assumption about you. There's a lot of comedy and irony there, right? Like if you go to zoo and I could tell, like I'd be like, oh, I'm going to talk to Isaiah, and we're going to come up with like a quick little thing that'll take 30 minutes to shoot. Where what's the joke? Just some sort of misunderstanding, and you're actually like a professor or something who's
fucking crazy off the wall,
well, yeah, that alone is just, I think, one of the best, like, it's a really wholesome element of zoo culture. Is like they fought the good fight, they stayed open, and that ended up benefiting a lot of young people, especially who like they rely on that gym to make the content for their YouTube. That pays their bills,
man. It's like fuck.
It made him bigger too, just to do that fight, and it's ridiculous what they did to that man.
You're sort of on the right side of history, I think, because I do think we'll look back at that time and be like, ooh, that was a mistake to like destroy all these businesses. When that really didn't solve anything. It was like we got to the end of it, like, all right, now COVID's done. It's like, and it's still here, folks.
Yeah, what is your fucking like normal fucking workout?
That and diet.
Because bro, you're swole as shit. Let's not get this shit twisted. You're swole as shit, man.
Thank you. A few principles that I would lay out, because like I think of like diet and getting bigger as there are many ways to do it. What are the underlying principles? Because you could have different splits, you could lift at different times, you could lift 3 times a week and probably still get pretty big. But the general principles are progressive overload of some sort, and that could be whatever you're doing. And I recommend as beginners, like, it's also like different advice. If I'm giving advice and not just explaining what I do, because I do many different things, but I try to not overcomplicate it. I try to basically lift more weight in the core exercises: standing press, incline press, bench press, squat, dead, rows, weighted pull-ups and pull-downs. If I'm progressing the weights that I use in the compound movements steadily and trying to push myself and also get better form and push myself in weight, if that march is always happening, I'm getting bigger and I'm getting stronger and something's advancing. And then if I want to work on particular details of my physique, I'll add volume to it. So for example, you're medial deltoid is one, like, you know, every guy, if you want to look more masculine, you kind of like develop your upper chest, your shoulders, and your back, right?
Yeah.
Like your lats and traps, and you kind of start to take on more as you lose body fat in your stomach. You'll take on, you know, an appearance that many women find very attractive.
Yeah.
The fucking hourglass fucking shape, yeah.
Well, hourglass for women, but V-taper for men.
Yeah.
Unless you got a fat to donk. But like if you just want to focus on certain areas, like do lateral raises every day. Yeah. It's not going to kill you. Your medial deltoids can actually handle a lot of volume. So you're just adding volume to anything specific. You want bigger biceps? Do a few sets every day instead of if you're doing one arm workout now, right? You ramp that up. But every other thing is just a variable. It's like weight is one variable. Over time, you want more of it. Yeah. Reps are another variable. Over time, you want more of them. Rest is a variable. Over time, you could push yourself. If these other things stall, you could use a little less, or actually track it versus doing whatever you want. Range of motion is a variable. So like, I saw a video the other day that somebody sent me. It was like, is this legit? And it was a guy talking about, if you can't squat this weight, 405, okay, I can't do a full rep. But what if I can do a half rep? You practice here, until it becomes easy, and then you bring that same weight down in a pin, and then another pin. And the thing that you're progressing is your range of motion. So even though in general people are like, oh, look at this idiot half repping, but like, usually we see those funny videos because the person doesn't realize the form is bad. But if you use it deliberately as part of a plan, it's like, if you can only bench 315 here, over time, if you keep lowering it just a little bit and taxing yourself in that range of motion, you can eventually get it down to your chest. It's just, it's more complicated,
How can we set up a fucking workout? We didn't get this guy. We didn't get a workout.
We didn't get a workout.
Yeah, we could, well, I'm going to leave tomorrow morning. Yeah, I always, I just think for the most part, the fitness industry, and this is what I'm trying to do on my podcast, is like dispel the myths and the charlatans and the people that are selling you stuff that includes misinformation or presenting themselves as experts when they get some of the fundamentals wrong. Because in fitness especially, everybody wants an expert. People come to me and go, I got papers. I'm glad you went first.
Oh, shit. That's good. Round fucking 2, eh?
Now we, people are so desperate for kind of like, how do you do it? It's the one right way. When I tell people, well, there's no one right way to diet. That's not the answer they want to hear. They kind of want to be spoon-fed. But I go, if you invest a little bit of time, figuring out what's the best thing for you, it might be keto. It might be, actually eating carbs, but just using them in moderation. To some degree, everybody has to experiment for themselves and try something, and maybe it works and maybe it doesn't, but there's many paths that can get you to, really with diet, because it's what's the underlying principle of weightlifting? Whatever kind of stuff I do. Could be DC training, which is like a low volume, high intensity. You only do a few sets per body part, but they're really to failure. And, I do sometimes a little more traditional bodybuilding style workouts where you do 20 sets of just chest. Yeah. Sometimes I'll just get in there and do a CrossFit style workout, which is more something I'll program for myself, but it's you're doing presses into pull-ups, into cleans, into incorporating Olympic lifting and doing it in a circuit style, which will fuck you up and
that's what I used to do is just circuit.
Yeah,
just because I didn't have
circuit's fucking badass. I like doing the circuits. Now I gotta ask because there's probably a lot of fucking people wondering.
Yeah.
Steroids.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're comfortable with that. Talking about totally that shit.
Comfortable talking about it. And that's another thing where I go. Even there was it's getting better because somebody has to break that mold first and be a pioneer of I'll talk about it.
Yeah, someone has to be fucking honest about that.
But there are those individuals now who've come out and been like, this is what I took as an IFBB Pro. This is what I took in this is what I'm on now. And it just wasn't an open discussion 15 years ago, really. Maybe with Rich Piana. There was some people who were came out and just fucking...
RP Rich Piana.
Yes, RIP. He was a pioneer because he's one of these guys who showed you don't need to win bodybuilding competitions to make a living as a bodybuilder, but you need to be entertaining on social media. Yep. And part of that is exposing the truth and the reality. A lot of these realities are dark, and people die in bodybuilding all the time because of steroid abuse. But I am of the belief that you can use anabolics safely. Especially in low doses or moderate doses over longer periods of time. There is always a give and take. So it's not as if they have no side effects or it won't show it in your life.
Yeah, let's talk about that, man. Yeah. Because there's a lot, especially because when I started taking steroids, I was 18. I had no fucking idea what I was doing. I was slamming and going. I was, hey, I'll cut your fucking hair for steroids. fuck, it's a fair fucking trade, you know? Like, so I was slamming and going. Fuck, there was tests every 3 days that was going in my body.
Yeah.
You know, I was, at one point, I was taking testosterone, I was taking tren, and mastodon all at the fucking same time. Yeah. And abusing the fuck out of cocaine. I was like, no one told me that there was a fucking risk of me having some fucking like psycho breakout, you know?
Right. And that's a lot of bodybuilders do also abuse recreational drugs because kind of like you're already on the spectrum of like, yeah, I'll try that.
Yeah.
You know? So that is more common. And like one of the things is if information isn't public and the pros aren't talking about it, then you are left to your own devices to figure it all out. Now, I was the type of guy when I was 18, I did a few cycles when I played college football, like let's say 3 cycles, like you know, from 18 or like around when I was turned 19 to like 21.
Yeah,
didn't do anything, and then hopped back on TRT, like 150 milligrams a week, which is super low dose. But like, you can pimp that out and make that work for you. Yeah. Get results if you have the diet and the training and the sleep all in order. 150 is enough to get results, and then I've gradually like experimented with different compounds and different higher doses, but still nothing more than moderate. Yeah. Recently, I did something crazy for a week where I took like 200 milligrams of Winstrol, 100 milligrams of Tren every day on top of like, I probably took like 500 milligrams of Test to start with, but it was like way more than I and some Master on because I just had it on hand and I was gonna like shoot a music video like in 2 weeks or whatever. I'm like, let me just get rid of all this shit in like one. But it's funny because like now I've experienced what 700 milligrams of Tren a week feels like, and seen how there is it's a very potent androgen.
Holy shit.
Makes you very horny. You can't sleep really, and actually your performance declines. A lot of people don't realize like if you take an anabolic that's powerful enough, your heart pressure, your blood pressure rises so much like you'll get a headache in the gym. You kind of get out of breath. Like it's not as if like performance enhancers are all sort of universally like this is going to help you in the gym. Some of them can make you feel like shit because they're too powerful.
What about the stereotypical? I want to dive into like the stereotypical where everyone talks about.
Does it make your dick small?
Okay.
I didn't know that.
Okay, look, I done a lot of fucking, you know what I'm saying, steroids, whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
My dick didn't get smaller. I already had a small dick. Okay.
Okay.
So my balls got smaller. So now my dick and my balls is like it's equivalent. So I'm good now.
There's nothing that's going to shrink your dick from steroids. I don't know if there's things that are possible that could do that, like in life, like diseases or something. But steroids are not. The reason that your balls shrink temporarily for most people because you can bring them back with compounds like Clomid and HCG, which directly stimulate the things that your nuts are supposed to do. The reason that they shrink is when you put in a hormone from outside, your body kind of it senses that you have enough androgens, and it doesn't, whether it's testosterone or something else, and different things besides testosterone, there's varying degrees of suppressiveness, you know, so like Tren is very suppressive, and that's in the nandrolone group of steroids, so like nandrolone decanate or nandrolone phenylpropionate, or I think Czech drops and Ment or Trestolone is like, it's in this family. The testosterone family is like equipoise, turinabol.
Wow, there's really a lot that fucking goes into it.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's just like 3 groups. DHT derivatives, and actually DHT is what makes your dick bigger when you're like, there's some like correlation because like DHT also makes your hair fall out. So if you see a bald guy, you'd be like, that guy's probably a big dick. There's some correlation because the more you're exposed to androgens and like DHT, dihydrotestosterone in the womb, it's supposed to like give you these masculinizing effects like you're gonna maybe have a fuller beard and like but go bald earlier but your dick's bigger, right? It's
bro.
I fucking tatted my whole head because I was like, you know what, fuck it.
Yeah, so it's like hormones are responsible for the size of your dick, just not past puberty. You know what I mean? It's whatever happens. So you could induce this at earlier ages, but no hormones you take after the fact are gonna do anything to that. Your nuts shrink because they're just like, oh, we need to stop. And like, if you were being wheeled around in a wheelchair all the time, your quads would shrink because we're like, oh,
that makes
we don't need
to fucking work.
Your body is remarkable at going like, oh, we're not using this thing. We're not going to put resources because your body doesn't want to have huge anything. You know what I mean? It's all a waste. Just to have huge muscles, your body fights against it because that's a lot more food. If you're not like using it every day.
Fuck yeah. I mean, I just fucking scarfed down a fucking meal before I came. So like,
disgusting, bro. I saw you like just fucking.
Fuck you. Okay, fuck you. Because usually like I'm taking like I'm trying to lose a lot of fucking weight. You know what I'm saying? Taking like the MCTs, the CLAs, the L-carnitines and shit like that.
I like cardarine a lot. I don't know as much about MCT oils, but I know they show.
It's like old lady shit. It's fucking cool, It's what the new hipsters fucking take. But
I like Harley because it's another like performance enhancer.
What do you feel? You ever? What do you take for a pump? Because usually when I take for a pump, sometimes before I go to the gym. My plug fucking bailed on me, so I used to take fucking Cialis.
I was just gonna say, I take Cialis.
I fucking love it.
What's
Cialis?
dude,
it's like
it's long-acting Viagra. So if you took Viagra, like Viagra's like has a small window of like 5 hours, let's say. Where it's gonna be harder.
Viagra on steroids.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
And it may not be like I don't know how it may or may not be less potent. I just know it works. Like if you're for the purpose of getting a boner, it works.
Yeah. Okay.
But it also because it's the mechanism is. It's a vasodilator, so it opens up your veins, and that's like any good pre-workout has an element of like something that's going to open up your veins to have more blood flow. So Cialis does that really well, and it's just something that you can take safely every day.
Yeah. You know what the coolest fucking thing I found out, dude? Arnold Schwarzenegger used to fucking crush up Viagra into his pre-workout and fucking drink that motherfucker. Yo, when I found, yes, it's fucking true. I mean, as far as I knew, I was like, that's kind of fucking cool.
It has the ring of being not true because when did Viagra come out?
Because I heard of it. I like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, it was still like the concept. I was like, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
But it's like, man, I can't walk around the gym with a fucking
we
heart
need Travis
on.
to look it up.
Yeah, Travis. Look what's up, guy. Cialis was fucking great pump. What about, you use anything else? I mean, we kind of discussed before. Shit, I've been to the gym tripping fucking sack on LSD.
Yes. I've taken micro doses or moderate doses, like maybe half a tab. I've never like a full 3-4 tabs, but I'm a huge fan of psychedelics. And we were talking earlier about how like you'd worked out drunk and you're like, this isn't that bad, but I wouldn't want to do that just because of the lack of the coordination. You don't feel as motivated. I think I'd be more likely to be like, fuck this, I'm heading out and kind of listen to your impulses. As drinking makes you do. With LSD, the only downside was I felt hot, but I was like, it was LSD to me makes things more fun, like laughing and more interested. Thoughts. It's sort of like entertaining your own mind, and I wouldn't say the gym's the best environment, but compared to other things I've done, some people like to smoke weed before they work out. That's not for me really, just because again it's like a motivation thing where I'm like, weed and like animalistic intensity don't really go hand in hand to me. That's what people like,
I use it after though.
Yeah.
It's like a good recovery for me.
I can't fucking smoke weed. I get paranoid. Paranoid. I'll be like, fuck, dude, what the fuck?
That's what we were talking about earlier is...
my mom's going to find out. I'm a grown fucking man.
With LSD, did you say you had the bad trip?
Horrible trip. Horrible.
And
never took it again after that.
The first time I ever took LSD, I had a horrible trip because of those factors that I told you about were like I'd taken an edible and I'd taken an Adderall, and this weird guy was in the room who we didn't know, and he was like hitting on my girlfriend like when I'd get up, and she, like all these things where it's like too much to process and too many conflicting chemicals in your body. But I remember I felt paranoia during that experience, and it was really unpleasant because like you can get some creative paranoia when you're on LSD, right?
Oh, yeah.
But every time I'm taking it from that point, so at first I'm like, oh, maybe LSD's not for me. And for whatever reason, you take it again, and then I had this really pleasant experience because when you just take it on its own, it's actually like the molecules of a lot of psychedelics, like LSD, you look at them on paper and they're almost like serotonin, So like, and I'm not a chemist, I don't know exactly, or a neuroscientist, but like, when I see that, I go, that makes sense because my sense of well-being on LSD is really heightened. When it's just LSD and it's the right dose and you're in the right environment, you feel confident, you feel happy, you look at things and go, it's totally beautiful. Like, I don't need millions of dollars. I'm happy with this. I love the people in my life. Like, so you're overwhelmed with like gratitude and awe for the beauty of what's around you.
Yeah, that's what I've heard around with friends that actually use it like every weekend damn near, but dude, that first time I used to
pop LSD every fucking day. The first time I tripped, I remember I was talking to Mormons who used to come to my fucking I was in the group home. So they're like, hey, the fucking Mormons are here, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they're like, can you read from the Book of Mormon? I fucking remember opening the book. I was like, yeah. And I just fucking remember reading, like falling off the fucking page, watching the words on the floor. I'm like, oh, fuck. I'm high. I was like, this is fucking awesome. Yeah. And after that, I look at my boy, they're like, holy shit, you don't look good. I'm like, yeah. And I'm saying, I'm going to go use the bathroom. I go use the bathroom. My boy's like, don't fucking look in the mirror. My boy's like, don't look in the fucking mirror. I go take a piss, fucking shake it fucking 20 times.
Yeah.
I go to the bathroom, look in the mirror. I'm like, oh, fuck. That's why. And I'm like, oh, shit, my face is falling off.
Yeah.
It was fucking great.
It's kind of jarring.
It's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I don't, everyone else is not, what I'm saying, not everyone takes psychedelics the same. Yeah. I look in the mirror every time on purpose now. I'm like, yo, what the fuck?
Right, yeah. I'm a big advocate for it as long as you can set up the right environment and not have like stressors in your life.
Yeah.
Like, if you're under stress, it's not an escape mechanism. Like some drugs, let me drink to it.
The right music, the right fucking music, dude.
Yeah, all those things.
Shout out to the fucking Beatles. Oh my god. Cuckoo, cuckoo. I Am the Rawest. I Am the Rawest by the Beatles is the fucking best song to listen. Or Lucy in the Sky. The best song to fucking listen to where you're like tripping balls. I do think there's certain
movies that are like really intended for consumption while under the influence of psychedelics. One of them being, this is a random one, you guys may not know, but there's this Nicolas Cage movie called Mandy.
See, I don't know.
And I never would have watched it had my friend, like, and I've done a lot of psychedelics, so is he was like, we're taking LSD and we were watching this movie Mandy, and I'm like,
you feel like you're forced.
Yeah, like, well, I was like, I don't really want to watch a movie while I'm
LSD.
It's not my normal thing. But he made this whole big deal about it, and like, we had to like, it was at like this office he was at, and no, it's such a good movie, independently of the LSD trip. But it was like, again, I took him at his word that this needed to happen. So we watched it, and I was like, oh my god, like you were totally right. This movie is the perfect thing to watch. High as balls on LSD and shrooms. Like I felt like the movie was like 3D. I felt like I was inside the movie. Like there was like the voices were like all here and like the characters were like all around. Yeah, it was a really cool experience. But then you're like, okay, but maybe the movie sucks when you're sober.
Yeah.
I rewatched it several times since, and I'm like, no, this is the shit. It's like a cult classic. Like it works really well on its own. It's just like it has these quirks and idiosyncrasies, but like it's honestly Nick Cage's performance it is incredible, and it's to me it's a masterpiece.
That's fucking great. The best fucking LSD trip I ever had was when I was in fucking high school.
Oh yeah,
economics class. I thought I was fucking tripping, fucking sack. I thought I was tripping. I was in fucking economics class here.
Thank you. Yes.
I was in fucking economics class, and all I remember was I was sitting in the back row, and all I remember my teacher was saying, just talking about like government shit. Where the fuck they talk about economics? Yeah. It's all bullshit nowadays. Fuck school. I fucking hate school anyways. I just sitting there, and like the next song was playing my fucking headphones, and all I remember was, yeah, and that's why Jesus and the Easter Bunny had an orgy. And I fucking took my headphones out. I was like, there's no way I'm not fucking high to where I hear that Jesus and the Easter Bunny had a fucking orgy. I was like, miss, did you just say that? And she's like, yeah, I said that. I was like, holy fuck, these drugs are good. What the? And she really said it. It fucked me up. Fucked my fucking day up. I was like, I sat there, I was like...
That's
funny.
That's a funny like statement in and of itself. But one of the things I really like about LSD is things are funnier. You're like ready for humor. You're ready to look at this thing. It says Happy Dad. Like that's so ridiculous, But like your face hurts from laughing. Like the next day, I'm like my face is
for shrooms. Because I used to take shrooms a lot more than LSD. That's why a lot of them. That's what I would do the same thing with that. Yeah. I haven't taken LSD.
If you like shrooms,
we're gonna change that after this fucking cast.
People have preferences between the two, but I think if you're somebody who can enjoy psychedelics, you'll enjoy like shrooms and LSD are basically interchangeable. You know what I mean? Like people have their preference for various reasons, but I just feel like nobody can tell me they love shrooms and hate LSD.
It's fucking compatible.
Okay.
What about you ever tried ecstasy?
Yeah, I've tried it.
Yeah.
I got horny as fuck, dude. So my boy was like, here, just take half this fucking pill. Take half this fucking pill. I was like, oh, yeah. I took it. Like 5 minutes went by. I was like, oh, no. I'm used to drugs hitting me right away.
It takes like 40 minutes.
I take fucking both the fucking pills. Mm-hmm. I was like, I don't feel shit. Like 10 minutes later, I'm like, all right, now fuck, I gotta get high. Go get a fucking gram of cocaine. Then like the fucking ecstasy start kicking in. I'm like horny as shit.
Yeah.
I'm like horny.
Or if you're at the club too, I get like really, I dance like crazy.
Oh
bro.
yeah,
like,
you're lost in it.
Lost in it, bro.
What day is this? Saturday? Yeah, we're going the fuck out tonight. Yeah, let's go the fuck out. Yeah.
It's interesting because like I've had those experiences where like you're out. I remember the first time I took MDMA, ecstasy, was my high school graduation. Like, not during the graduation. They had like, they have like safe and sober grad night where we rent out like this community center and like they block it off. So like you got to stay there, but like you can stay up all night and sign people's yearbooks and just have this like expansive party where you're just hanging out wherever you want with your buddies.
Yeah.
It's like they try to give you as much space as you can. So me and some friends were like, let's fucking, and it actually was perfect because you're like, dude, like during high school, like I never said this to you, but like I was writing, but it's funny because it's all sincere. Like, you can look back and be like, I meant all that.
Yeah.
I forget writing it, but I meant it like, in the moment. And
I don't know what the...
It's like you don't say things to people I think that you don't mean on ecstasy. It's just like you have access to the love in your heart.
No, yeah.
You have like the balls to fucking say it.
Yeah, it's like
you have the balls to fucking say it.
But bro, after the aftermath of that is crazy. I get so scared, paranoid. Like
it's a terrible come down.
Terrible. Yeah. I was in Mexico and
you must have to take
horrible
or something.
Yeah, for
because
real.
You do get. It's like you feel this emptiness when that goes.
I get like depressed as fuck.
Yeah, and scared.
I'm like,
I was scared. I was in Mexico and it was like a little sketchy where I was at, and I was just paranoid.
Versus something, for example, when I take LSD, I don't feel shit the next day. It's like I'll pop.
I'm all like,
that was fun as fuck yesterday.
I'm all like, I'm like, you remember the fuck? Craziest
like
fucking thing I did on fucking acid.
Shrooms and LSD. This is the difference would be time, right? Would be like
LSD
is like 16 hours or something like that.
Maybe not that. Like it could be. You could be kind of stimulated for 16 hours, but the main, like I would say, more like 8 to 12. But it is longer than almost any other drug.
Yeah.
Because it also stays at this level too. It hits a certain saturation point.
And you're just
versus like MDMA, you kind of like you feel it peak, and as soon as it's peaking, you're coming back down.
Yeah.
And that's when you start going.
I want to try DMT. I never got the fucking. I hear the way Joe Rogan talks about. I'm like, I gotta fucking try it. Where the fuck can I get? I want that.
You can get DMT vape pens, and that's the only experience I've had with them. I don't think it's as strong as like. I didn't realize there's kind of like gradations like this. This kind of DMT. I forget what it is, but I don't think I hit the blast off point where I like my ego melted, but just the like hitting the pen a couple times and you go to the DMT like space where like everything kind of becomes this beautiful like 16-bit world where it's like when someone first said that to me, they're like, oh, it looks like everything becomes like a video game.
Pixelized kind of.
It kind of pixelized, but what I didn't account for was it's actually super beautiful because it's all geometric. It's like the geometric beauty of LSD, which is like to me that's like a hallmark of LSD is like the more you take, the more you see like a geometric like fireworks show in front of your face. You can still tell what's going on, but it's like there'll be this like you're like
fuck me,
and it's all beautiful because people are like, are you like imagining things that aren't there and hallucinating? I'm like, not really. I'm seeing a light show in front of my face. I know exactly what it is, and I'm like astounded by it. But I'm not thinking I'm seeing a person or an animal there that's going to attack me, and I'm scared. I'm like, this is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
DMT is like that to the nth degree because you're like, it felt like I was watching the most beautiful display of moving images that were like milliseconds from it. It's like you watched like the most beautiful lifetime of artwork in like 15 minutes or something, and I felt like if I move, I'm going to like interrupt this like still pool or something, like because you're sitting here, you don't like no part of my body wanted to move, not because I felt frozen, but because I felt like if I move a muscle in my body, like this like most intense experience of like visual beauty I've ever had would be interrupted, and I'd like throw it off. Like it felt like I was like riding a surfboard through like it's like fuck, bro. And you're like if I lean this way or that way, like. Because I could hear people talking like Luke Mark right now. I'm like, and I wanted to be like, shut the fuck up, but like, I'm like, I can't even turn my head to like go like, you don't even know what I'm seeing right now.
Yeah.
And it's so incredible.
So like with salvia, bro, I mean I think that would be like the closest thing I've taken, like that was closest to DMT. That shit, bro, would take like, I was in like in a black, like it turned black. Everything around me black. Nothing was the same. Like
I'm gonna call my plug.
Dude, it was crazy, bro. Like honestly, I wasn't even in the same world or whatever.
Did you experience ego death?
Yeah, whatever. I don't even know what that is. Yeah, so like I wasn't even. I didn't even
your
know
sense of self melts away.
Yes, bro. It was a whole different reality. Like there was like aliens. They started showing me pictures of my life, throwing it away. Right. It was crazy.
Yeah. That's Sylvia at home. What's up?
Yeah. Damn. No, it's crazy, bro. It's crazy. Like this. So like, I guess it only lasted like 5 minutes, but it lasted like a whole like year.
Yeah.
That's fucking
and
crazy.
It pixelized into like. So it pixelized going into it, and then it pixelized going out of it. So like, right, it looked like just a bunch of little like pixels coming out. And when I woke up out of it, I was like, what the fuck, dude? It changed my life forever. After that, straightforward from there, bro. Like it is crazy.
And you didn't want to do it again, correct?
I do want to do it again, honestly. Okay. Because it's like
I was turned off by it because I saw a couple of people like you'll see these videos of people like flopping around or like jumping up and knocking shit over. It's like I don't want to put anybody in a position where you have to like hold me down if I fucking react wrong.
Yeah, holding your ass down. Holding your ass down.
I'll do that for somebody, but I just
I'm like, you know what?
It seems like I could be a liability. So, but I mean, it doesn't sound too different from DMT. I wonder what people who've done both would say about.
And it's I don't know the different timing of DMT, but it was only like 5 minutes. It was only like 5 minutes.
DMT might be a little bit longer, but still that short, like 10-minute
and you get to
duration.
see like things you've never seen, like out of this world. Like it's like a different dimension you're in. Like it like
I want to try that toad. I want to lick that.
You want to lick that fucking toad.
I want to lick that fucking toad.
But I think that's a form of DMT.
That's what I'm saying.
It's super. It's like crazier though.
Or like
I watched my homie doing. I watched my homie. Actually, I know some natives who are on the reservation who do the fucking sweat.
Is
lodges.
that DMT? Is that like a?
It's a psychedelic. I just don't know what the exact like family would be in.
See, that's why I'm confused about.
I'll make a phone call.
Peyote is longer acting, right?
Yeah. Fuck that. I'll take salvia instead of peyote. Yeah, I heard that was like 30 minutes.
You only live once, motherfucker. You're gonna do it.
Fuck, bro. I heard that they feel like 30 years in that shit. Like that's how it feels like. They had a whole fucking life.
And it sounds crazy. You've never done psychedelics before, but like even a mild dose of psychedelics affects your perception of time.
Oh,
and I remember taking
I feel like Travis needs to share. You want to try, bro?
I think a couple grams of mushrooms, which is like a pretty low dose. You know, the starter dose for most people is an eighth. Take an eighth, and that's like a strong trip, right?
Oh, yeah, it's good. It's good.
The taking half of an eighth, or like 1.7 grams. I remember I took that the first time. That was enough to. I'm definitely on mushrooms, Yeah. And one of the things that me and my friends kept noticing is, I remember talking like in this, like we were freshmen in college, and there was like some remote like garden on this campus. So we were like just like in a beautiful place, and you're talking away. So it's like you're comfortable. You're not like paranoid looking around. We started to be like, yo, what time is it? Oh, fuck, it's only been 3 minutes. That's crazy. Like, and we were like, all right, what we're going to do is we're going to set this timer. We're going to go on a tangent. We're going to talk. And we're like, not going to, like, when we forget about it, somebody has to be like, check what time it was. And so that happened. And like, we all guessed it was 30 minutes and it was like 5 minutes. So that's a predictable thing where time seems to expand on psychedelics. Yeah. And in part, I do think there's a science behind it of like, your perception of time also like is related to the neurochemicals you're experiencing, because like how does sleep feel like a minute? Well, you're not taking in, like, think about the frames of information that you're taking in. If you think you're going to be murdered, that the reason you think time slows down is because your eyes dilate and all of a sudden you're taking in way more frames per second. Like every millisecond is so important to you. You know what I mean? You're so heightened. Your body's like divert all the resources away from the rest of your body into like your brain and eyeballs so you can like take in and react to information as quickly as possible. So people feel like it was only 10 seconds, but like when they pulled a gun out and I had to take it out and I thought I was going to die, it felt like an eternity.
Holy
or like
fuck.
a fight.
Yeah,
it feels so much longer than just like 30 seconds.
So many little moments and you're like, oh, and then you watch it on a video, you're like, oh, that was 15 seconds.
Yeah, like, fucking, that just happened. Like, that's fucking.
Yeah.
Whoa,
that makes so much more
holy
sense.
Fuck. That just like fucked my brain.
Because we're talking about DMT and salvia, whatever, that are like the extreme thing. It's like that phenomenon of 30 minutes felt like 5. Well, 5 minutes felt like 3 years.
Yeah, for real.
So wait, so I want to like kind of walk back. So you were in college?
Yeah. Went to college.
Where were you studying?
I went to Pomona College, which is a private liberal arts school that's like prestigious. Kids in there.
And everyone was shipping fucking sack.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome.
I do think you meet a variety of kids there. It was really interesting because a lot of my friends were like doctors, lawyers, business professionals, hedge fund managers, retired at 40. All these like, it's given me an interesting thing. Like, although part of me was like, I got into like UC Santa Barbara and I visited there. I'm like, I'm gonna go here and fuck all these girls. What
the fuck? Like, did you get more kills when you were in college, or did you get more, more kills like now that you're older, like you're blown up on social media?
I think for most men, the trajectory is, unless you're a ball player or a rapper, there were times in college where I knew that when I was in my best shape and tan and whatever, I'm like, I know girls are reacting to me more based on my appearance and this and that. And I had some game, but my social skills in general now as a 30-something are so much better, and my understanding of gender dynamics is so much better. So, and even what women are attracted to. Yeah. Women in their early 20s often aren't interested in guys who are in their early 20s. They want a guy who's older or more for a variety of reasons, and I love those kind of conversations. But to answer your question briefly, women seem to be much more interested in me past 30 than they ever were.
Swear to fucking God, I noticed that shit.
you know, and there's a lot of specific reasons for it, but I think the advice to anybody is like, first and foremost, get life experience, get good stories, get social skills. Because the thing about, if you don't have social skills and you're awkward around normal people, and then a hot girl gets there, you're going to be the most awkward person ever. And I've been that person before. A hot girl shows up, and you're just like, you don't know how to act because you're like,
y'all fucking squirmish and shit.
Like,
yeah,
I'm
what the
sweating.
fuck?
Hey, Mikhail, I love you. I'm not even in this. I'm not even.
Hey, look, this motherfucker is like, you know what I'm saying? I'm on the free fuck frame status.
That's you, like, but you, how old are you?
I'm 22.
Okay. So you maybe haven't experienced this, but like when you get, you'll just see how women react to you differently and I'm not saying they don't now, but it's like, it becomes more overt as you get a little bit older, you know, and even just like establish, you know, when this podcast blows up and you're killing and everybody knows who you are, that's like a status element that like women really respond to when you're.
But once again, babe, I love you. Yeah. I am not learning.
But this isn't that. This isn't you going, I'm trying to fuck about girls. This is how do girls react to you, which I always think it's like, you know, to me, a lot of that stuff goes hand in hand with like success in life. You know what I mean? It's like if you have good social skills, if you try to be dominant, assertive, confident, ambitious, that's all the shit that makes girls wet. You know what I mean? So like, you might as well. You
motherfucking key.
And honestly, I had to learn a lot of the social skills because I'm a real estate agent.
Fellas, pick up your fucking balls.
Right? Yeah. You can like if you learn how to be. Think about the most feminine girl you know. With giant tits and a baby voice and its tiny waist, and she's just like, oh my god, like, it's like kind of like a cartoon character of what men find hot. If you were a cartoon character of what women find hot, what would that be? The ultra masculine, and what, you know, it's funny. Jordan Peterson talks about this. He's like the top 5 women's fantasies like characters are werewolf, pirate, vampire, surgeon, and like banker. Or something. Like there's some random one that was like doesn't make, but like you kind of. You get a little bit of a picture there, right? Like, women kind of want somebody who's, like, dangerous. They want the villain because if the villain likes them, they'll protect the girl and kill everyone else. You know?
Holy
so you have to be, you have to pursue kind of the ability to be dangerous because the number one thing women will always say is, like, he makes me feel safe and protected. Right? So like you got to know how to fight, you got to lift weights, you got to have some sort of toughness to you. Because a woman doesn't. In order for a woman to be maximally feminine to you, you have to provide a safe space for her to let her guard down.
No,
you know what I mean?
So fucking true.
You can expect a woman to be more feminine, but first you have to look at yourself and go, can I be more of a man?
Yeah.
You know, but that conversation obviously gets muddled these days. It's like, you're toxically masculine.
Oh, I'm toxic as fuck. Oh, no, fuck that. Let me dive into that. I'm toxic as fuck.
Right.
Like, I tell every female, I go, because like my Instagram lives is different from my TikTok lives. TikTok lives, I have 130,000 followers. You know, I appreciate you guys. You know what I'm saying? I'm nice and sweet. That's me.
Yeah.
TikTok, don't DM me unless you're gonna help me eat your friend's pussy. Like I'm so fucking serious. Like I'm like, you know, like I tell them like I'm confident as fuck.
To me, I really like unraveling what does toxic masculinity mean, and is that just regular masculinity? To me, if you're telling a girl your intentions and you happen to be a pervert, that's direct and that's masculine because you're just going like you're not saying I'm gonna force this on you, or I'm going to make you do anything, or
you know what the fuck you're getting your fucking self into.
And a lot of women actually respond to that, even though they might say
they love
like,
that
oh my God,
shit.
stop, or something, and then try
so I have like this ideal concept, Mark. I gotta see do you fucking agree? Women love men who cheat.
Well, that's a really interesting conversation because here's okay. That's a really funny, blunt way to put it, like in a sort of joke format, and let me justify. Women will never agree with that. 99% of women will never agree with that statement.
But they will go back to them.
The truth behind it is women want men who have options.
Oh, fucking thank you.
So
oh my.
So
that
if a man,
right?
What's that?
That comes back to confidence and masculinity,
right? If like girls are, if a girl isn't interested in you, and then all of a sudden you have a bunch of supermodels coming up to you, like trying to get your attention, and you're kind of like not even bothered by it. They will want to suck your dick by the end of the night.
They want something that they know they can't fucking have. You know what I'm saying? And majority of the time, you know, it's like, it's the most fucked up thing is that I always ask every woman I ask, or like every woman who fucking claims they're like, would you quit your fucking full-time job to work for me part-time?
Yeah.
And all the women are like, would you? I'm like, no, like I'm gonna ask you a fucking serious question. You know, because I tell every girl, like, I'm probably gonna fuck your best friend. Majority of the time, I'm either gonna fuck your mom or your best friend.
Yeah.
But I tell them straight from the fucking get go, and
that's funny.
You can't get mad when I fucking do it.
Correct. So one thing that I'm gonna say works in your favor, and is a principle of masculinity, is frame. You're not buying into their frame of, oh baby, can I eat your pussy if I play by your rules? You're going, here are my rules. The moment you don't run away, you're playing by my rules now. The moment you even hesitated for a second to be like,
that's so true.
You're collectively jumping, like, issue by issue, hoop by hoop. You might want to say, is she jumping into your hoop or are you jumping into her hoop? And a lot of guys don't have that understanding of like, they think like, if I navigate like her bullshit, like, no, we're not gonna have sex tonight, and you need to call me back this many times, and you need to text me. Guys don't even realize like they can break all those rules and just say, no, this is how we're doing it. And she might go, but it's like she's gonna come back to you. When she storms off and has the hissy fit, and then you do nothing because you don't chase her, she's gonna come back to you. And so setting something up like that, of like telling like I'm dating other women, would be the polite way to say it, right? Or something like a more common diplomatic way. That's establishing a masculine frame in which you're going, if you want to secure me, you need to show me commitment, and you need to show me how much value you add to my life to where I would want to give up all these other opportunities, because logically it's stupid.
Honestly, I think that goes back to, and I don't mean to be religious or anything, but it goes back to the Bible, how it goes from God, men to women. You know what I mean? The women have to follow the men. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I think naturally, even if we're doing like sinful stuff as in cheating and shit like that, that they go back to like, we have to follow your rules, how you were saying. You know what I mean?
Right. I love because in modern contemporary times, as like a lot of this gets twisted because you go, we want the same everything, blah blah. And Andrew Tate has this great quote where he's like, like gender dynamics and gender equality seem to be less important, and the closer you get to like emergency situations such as war, you have less women going, I want to be the exact same as the guys. Like, okay, let's all start Normandy together.
Yeah, start backing out.
I love who, because I don't know if you guys know who.
When everything else is taken care of, then women are going, I want to be a football player too, or whatever.
Okay, yeah.
It's crazy because I love how Kevin Samuel says it. Children belong to the women, women belong to the man, and the man belongs to God, and trickles down the ladder from there.
Yeah.
And I think that comes in naturally too.
That displeases a lot of people's ears because it sounds misogynist or anti-feminist.
Yeah.
But as I explained before, the order of masculinity and femininity, men do have to establish a safe masculine frame in order for a woman, because femininity by nature is chaotic and vulnerable. So in order to feel safe, allowing that to bloom, you have to be like, I am strong, I am protective, anybody who's trying to get at you, I'm keeping my eyes everywhere, I've created this castle and this fort and this world where you're safe. That has to come first.
Yeah, 100%.
Not the other way around.
I think that's in the Bible. That's what they say. You have to run your household. You have to run what's around you. So then,
Yeah.
And that's what it kind of compares to that, where you have to create this type of masculinity to show the woman that you can protect her. You can.
And so that's why a lot of I do think there's a movement with people like Kevin Samuels, with these modern guys who are just like, hey, like men, be more like men, because women want that, and actually society kind of needs that, and it's not strictly religious. People will sometimes reject the wisdom of religion because they go, oh, it's in the Bible, and I'm not religious, therefore everything in the Bible is bullshit.
Bullshit, yeah.
But the fact is, there are certain ancient bits of wisdom that still play out today, 100%. And you sort of contradict those ideas at your own peril.
Yeah, and I'm Christian. That's how I learn like little different things from just regular human acts every day. With it when it comes to like stuff like this, so it totally makes sense. Just we all have different philosophies and different,
Yes. But it's like, because
I
again,
get another one, bro.
Yeah, I just think the main thing that's fucked is this our generation today. I ain't gonna lie, like, cause I'm 21. So you're what, 22? I just think like what's most fucked is like our generation, like a man just feel like they fucking feel like, or it's like everyone our age or in our generation feels like we fucking like deserve everything. You know what I'm saying? Like we feel like everything should be granted to us.
Entitlement is something you really...
Entitlement, there you go. You know what I'm saying?
So I always think about that a lot, entitlement and gratitude. I try not to be around entitled people.
Cherry.
I try not to act entitled. I try not to skip out on being grateful. If somebody does something for me, and this is an example of like Chappelle and Brendan, for example, are two people who have really gone out of their way to help me a lot without me ever asking for them and without me ever making it seem to them like I feel like I deserve something, right? Because when people recognize talent or other, like we all like, it feels good to do good things for other people.
Exactly, yeah.
But it also feels shitty when you feel like, hey, I helped you out and like you kind of disrespected me after that or didn't acknowledge it. So I always try to acknowledge because gratitude actually makes you happier. Yeah. Because it forces you to look around and go, what are people do? I'm not alone. People are helping me and people have done things for me and you're focusing on the positive things in the outside world that other people have done for you and that you're happy that you have this thing that if you didn't, your life would be worse. And the opposite of that, I would consider entitlement, where you go, well, of course I deserve this. I deserve the job because I'm me. It's like, but did you work for it? Did you sacrifice for it? Did you work?
Fucking,
so it's a sense of
like
you deserve something without having put in the effort or the sacrifice. And to me, that's just a losing mindset.
Yeah.
And it's also something that, speaking of toxic masculinity, I hate that term, but I do think it's worth knowing what toxic behaviors are in all people, men and women.
That's what I was thinking. What really makes you toxic is, there's a lot of toxic traits that we can put out there, like, I'm not going to lie, I fucking cheat.
Yeah,
I fucking cheat.
Yeah.
I fucking cheat, but you know what? I tell everyone, I fucking cheat. I'm a fucking cheater.
Right. So I think the main thing is, for women, in part, because again, as you said, if you establish a frame where you go, I'm not going to be faithful, but because this is like another manosphere thing, is people go, men express loyalty and commitment by sharing their resources with you, and women express that with fidelity. So that's why there's always this disconnect between men and women, where we don't see cheating as that big of a thing. Like I just wanted to shake the girl's hand. I wanted to fuck her. You know what I mean? It's I didn't want to do it a million times or leave you. I was on the road and I saw a hot girl. I wanted to fuck her.
I forgot who the fuck said it, but I think they said men love people. Women love things. Oh yeah, I think that's. I'm not sure if it's either vice versa or so.
Let me give insight into that. What I think that quote is trying to say, based on other people. There's another interesting concept in the manosphere of hypergamy, which is women have to feel like they're getting a better deal. If we'll fall in love with a waitress and marry her up. We don't care about a woman's profession, her income, whatever. If she's beautiful and she has certain feminine traits that we really enjoy, she doesn't need to be a genius. She doesn't need to be a millionaire. But the problem that a lot of modern women are having is women are not attracted to men they deem beneath them. Intellectually, financially, status-wise. So if you're an Instagram influencer, sometimes I look at these chicks, I go, I know that it would be an issue that I'm not more famous or rich than them. And that's fine. Yeah, that's just how they work. But if a girl gets ahead of you, the reason many high performing women or women who run companies, they think I'm gonna climb the corporate ladder, get to 35, marry a guy, have a kid. It's good luck finding a guy who wants to put up with you as the CEO of a company at 35 and think you're going to also check all because you're probably going to get a submissive guy. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But you want an alpha dominant guy. Yeah. But you also want to be the alpha. You know what I mean?
It doesn't fucking work that
problems.
fucking.
You don't anticipate because they've been told this lie that you can have everything and you don't have to look at your life and go, do I want to go hard in this direction or hard in that direction or a little bit of both? Yeah. They think they can go hard in two opposite directions.
It's fucking crazy because there's every fucking time where I'll go and I'll be talking to a female. It's fucked up. This will be the last card. I feel like what's the name? Yeah. I fucking have it. I don't know how many I fucking have.
Yeah, I know. For real, I have had dude. The wild cherry is the
best. Happy Dad. Shout out to the fucking Nelk Boys. Full fucking send, baby.
Yeah, bro. Wild cherry is the best, bro.
I love the fucking watermelon. Anyways, like I was saying, I noticed, dude, whenever I fucking show a female how many fucking followers I have on social media, cause on Instagram, on TikTok, I have about 100, almost 30,000 followers. That pussy gets wetter than fuck.
It means something because and
it's some type of social fucking status nowadays.
Well, crazy. I
have the smallest dick in the fucking world. You know what I'm saying?
In the same way that we can't help but respond to titties or ass or these things where it's as a guy, people may judge you for it, but it's my brain isn't even thinking to consciously track her butt as she's walking by. It just does it, Yeah. I have to put effort into not doing it. In the same way, women have that automatic response to men's social status. Yeah. And some of these things conflate, it's wealth and money and power and competence. They all kind of intertwine to make somebody your higher status. But for example, you're really good at cutting hair, right?
Yeah.
if a girl saw you cut a bunch of hair, she'd also kind of be like, damn, like he's good at what he does. They like that too. Of course, and then they also see like, oh, and he's really popular. Other men respect him. That's a turn on too. And that's okay. You just need to know that as guys, like you can't follow the same pathway as a girl. You can't I like to look good and be in shape to some degree, but like being hot in itself as a guy isn't going to get you girls. It'll get you gay guys, but like,
hey, fucking shit.
Right? You know, like a gay guy will come up and suck your dick just because you have abs and a pretty face, but like for girls, that's a 10th
so
of
true.
the
Like,
equation,
if
right?
we had, for example, I'm not trying to diss on you, but if we had you, which you look so much better than like Drake, okay, and Drake's in the room, who's the girl?
Oh, they're gonna suck Drake. They're gonna fucking suck Drake.
They're gonna suck Drake's
It's
dick.
just a reality of the situation that now looks do play a factor. I don't think Drake's ugly. Like I think women do find him attractive.
Yeah, 100%.
But he's not like model good looking.
Yeah, he's not
but
freaking
he also,
six-pack abs.
what he is though is that a lot of guys discount this because they're like, oh, I'm not a model. I'm not going to even try.
Yeah.
You don't have to be really good looking, but if you're well groomed, women really like that. If
women love a man who can take
nice
care of
dress,
himself. See, there's. I feel like
So
there's different statuses. Even like I loved how like you know what I'm saying. There's different paths you could take in life. You could continue the rest of your life to do like this fucking bachelor man, or you can be a fucking settled family man. Majority of the time, I feel like women don't want that fucking family man no more. I feel like it's kind of fucked.
My girl, I keep on looking at your fucking eyelids and try to read it while you're talking every fucking time. No, it's my bad, bro.
I think the truth in what you're saying is definitely, I would put it this way, they want to tame the bad boy. Right?
They want that fucking bad boy.
They don't want the beta submissive guy who's gonna who wants to start kids and is already wholesome. They want to take that fucking animal and put a leash on him and be like, he's my animal now, and like he only guards me. That's kind
me.
of the analogy
That's
that I would
fucking
say,
me.
Right? And
I'm a slut. I can honestly fucking say, if you ever see me in the club or, you know what I'm saying, be out in the fucking clubs and partying, I'm a fucking slut. I'm a fucking whore.
Dude, you're a slut just at Fry's, bro. Like we went to fucking Fry's and
I picked up this fucking mom.
This mom.
It was fucking no effort.
He probably has a husband,
try.
bro.
You know what
like, honestly, probably has a husband.
He'd say, "You're not a slut. You're a slut maker."
Slut maker, bro. For real, this guy.
Can I get a fucking amen in the comment section?
No, but hold on. Let me change the subject real quick.
Okay.
How was it working with 50 Cent? Because I know you were.
That's a good question.
You worked at fucking 50?
Yeah.
Yeah, he
I was on his
fucking
show
50,
in 2017. I got cast to be, the lone white person on the show, but which is fine because I'm kind of like, when it comes to sketch comedy, that's like my strength is being a utility player of I can do a number of different characters and I can do a variety of things well enough to get the sketch going. Whatever. Yeah. So you kind of like Jim Carrey was for In Living Color. This
Jim Carrey, shout out to that man.
That's kind of what he was. He was the white utility player on In Living Color.
100%.
So that was my role in the show. It was a sketch comedy show. We did pranks. We did sketches.
That was on BET, right?
BET, yeah. I hated doing the pranks because I don't like messing with people in real life. Because sometimes you can ruin their day.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I'd pretend to dump ashes of my grandfather.
Yeah, I know. I just watched that one.
And
that was
people
funny.
Are like, oh, that's funny. I'm like, I hated doing it. Yeah. And we did one day of filming, and they're like, oh, we didn't get enough. I thought we were done with it, and 2 weeks later, they're like, hey, we got to go do that one again. I'm like, it's 8 hours of that shit,
Fuck.
But the sketches I love, I got to work with Michael Blackson and,
you really got, that's fucking amazing.
Yeah. This one sketch, Rent a Dad, with Donnell Rawlings from the Chappelle Show. That was really cool too. So I got to meet him. We got to go. He invited us to Dave Chappelle's birthday, private birthday event afterwards. It's really cool. So anybody that came on that did guest spots, I just thought was really cool to work with. And 50 Cent himself, since that was your question. 50 Cent. Incredible to work with. Really? Because, one of the things, first of all, you got to give him credit for going out of his comfort zone. Mm-hmm. Because he's not a comedic actor, and that shit's difficult. Yeah. Things are either funny or they're not. So, he's jumping into a world with a bunch of professional comedic actors where that's not his forte. But what was really cool was sometimes these sketches had been written, not for him, and he would be like, oh, I'm going to take this role because it's his show. So he'd be like, hey, he'd bounce somebody out. It just, that's what has to happen. Yeah. Oh, I like this role. You switch with me. But it wasn't written for him in his vernacular. So, it'd be kind of clunky the way he'd say shit. and I'd be like, hey man, why don't you try okay, so I got to like rewrite things for 50 Cent on the fly. He was open to it though, so he would like he would be somebody. If I had an idea, I'd always go to him and be like, hey, I think they're blocking it wrong. Like, but I couldn't tell the director to do it the different way. But I'd give him the idea, and he would know, like, hey, let's try it this way, because they'd listen to, like, not that they wouldn't listen to me, but you don't want to, like, get a reputation as, like, I think I'm in control of this set, but it's like you have to have a way to get your ideas to the people in charge, without, like, upsetting the hierarchy. So he was really cool as far as being an advocate for, like...
That's dope. So he had to listen to other people. And just
he's very, like, no ego. He wouldn't hang in his trailer. Like, I remember we were on set this one time, and he was like... Everybody grabbed, like, wherever you go, like, he's such a man of the people. I remember we took, like, his Bentley to the fucking, to the fight one time, like, at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, and it was just cool going to the back access and, like, seeing all the celebs and, like, meeting all these different people in his booth. But, like, what you really see is, like, everybody reacts to him. They're like, oh, like, on the street, he's driving down Brooklyn with his top down, be like, oh, my God. Like, people still freak out when they see him. And he handles it really well, and that's his approach versus somebody like, now I'm a huge Eminem fan. Eminem's not out in the streets because, like, he doesn't want it. He didn't like that. 50 Cent, like, embraces it and, like, uses it so well. And he's just, like, a funny dude to talk to.
He's so funny on his Instagram, bro.
So you worked with 50. You worked with a couple, a couple people down the line. So who do you imagine, or who do you see yourself working with in the near future? Or in the future in general? Who do you, you have an idea with already?
Yes. Well... One of the people that I know I'll continue to work with is Isaiah Miranda, who's your age.
Okay.
He's like,
Isaiah,
I think he just turned 22.
That dude's a freaking beast.
Because he's a really, like, he's an example of somebody I go, like, 'cause people go, the younger generation, this and that. I'm like, don't take a few people that you see online and have negative stereotypes about and apply that to everyone. Because every generation is going to have great people,
Yeah, of course.
And what I'll tell other people is, like, or why he'll succeed versus... other people that are his age that have less whatever. He's very easy to work with, very easy to collab with, like, comes up with ideas, wants to hear your feedback, he's open-minded.
Motivated.
Disciplined, like, is very consistent, doesn't, like, make one idea precious. Like, he puts himself in a position to go, like, he's promising a sketch a day, and then you kind of put your back against the wall and, like, make it happen. But consistency and discipline and these kind of basic principles that, like, apply to lifting, for example.
So true.
You can't rely on motivation. That'll happen, but you have to rely on discipline to show up every day, even when you don't feel like it. So I know as he, like, we'll be doing more and more, because it's like, again, last year he wasn't even acting, and now he's put all these, 1,000 sketches out where he's acting, and he's gotten a lot better. He'll be doing big things, and I'm sure we'll work together. When I think about people I want to work with in the future, it's mainly, like, directors that I've worked with where I'm like, you are so good at what you do. Like this music video director, I was actually just in a Hanson music video.
Hanson, dude, you worked with Malcolm in the Middle, bro. The guy in Malcolm in the Frankie Muniz?
Yeah.
That's so crazy. I used to watch him on
and the
after
youngest
WWE.
brother of the Hanson brother Mac, who's not in the group Hanson, he's younger than them, but he's like super creative and talented. He directed the music video, and he's so good at what he does. I'm like, I would love to keep working with him, whatever he does. I've worked with some other directors, or I'm in contact with, like, there's even a show that's going to be on HBO that I can't really say anything about, but like it's with a director whose movies I really respect, and I'm like, it was so cool to talk to him, over an extended period of time, because the audition process was a little unconventional to, like, be considered for this show, and I don't know when it's going to happen, but, like, I'm like, I'll just say this, it's going to be, like, the perfect role for me if I get it, and he's a guy, I'll just say, like, I get excited thinking about this director, because I'm like, I have watched your movies and, like, think they're great works of art. Not just like, oh, that was an entertaining, fun comedy. It was like, that movie stayed with me for the last decade after I watched it. You're dealing with a real artist who I know, like, one of the things that makes a director incredible is they get the best out of the actor. So as an actor, I'm like, I know if I work with you, like, I'm going to give it my all, and I know you're going to give it your all, and that ends up being the best thing.
Some best fucking thing you can put out there.
Yeah. So, really, and that's one of the things about being in LA is, like, you have more opportunities to, like, work with the people who are the best at what they do.
Oh,
and when you meet people who are the best at what they do, you're like, holy shit, it's astounding how good you are.
Dang.
You know?
See, I've heard that LA kind of lost a lot of that reputation just over the COVID period of time, and like Miami or like Florida is like the place to be.
Yeah,
that's where the fuck I'm moving to fucking
California
Orlando.
still the place to be for opportunity? Would you say?
For film production, yeah, but for many other things, I'm not saying like if you want to be an influencer, Miami, I'm sure would be amazing.
Yeah, I've heard.
And almost like many different cities, you could make it happen anywhere. But LA is one of the places where you're going to see top influencers, top musicians, top like recording artists, and like film, TV, and commercial actors. New York would be another. There's a few hotspots. I'm not saying by any means LA is the only one, but like there is a way you could figure this out for yourself. Whatever my thing is, like your specific niche, there's probably a best place to do it.
See that?
It's a network.
That's why we need to fly out there, bro. We need to check LA out.
Yeah.
We need to go out there.
LA's fucking amazing. I mean, that's why I was raised. I was raised in fucking LA.
I meant like for opportunities, like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because you know, for example, you guys are podcasting.
Time.
It's like that's a great place to be, and that's where the LA comedy podcast scene is thriving. Is because there are so many
fucking gems.
Not only comedians, but big names that you can have on that are just like you can call on a couple days' notice and bring them in and like make great content. You know, if that's what you want to do. So
you ready to travel?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're here.
Hey, fucking cocaine and hookers on me, yeah.
Nice.
This guy.
Speaking of which, what the fuck are we doing tonight, man? We gotta, I got like a few hookers I can call.
No hookers for me. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, this guy's like, you're almost fucking married, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. I'm
no hookers.
No
big
hookers
wink.
at all. I would not want that.
Hey, there's no winking
don't
from me
call
and
that
Trap,
one
right?
that
There's
you
no
told me about
winking
last
from
time.
us.
Yeah, no, fuck that,
locked
dude.
down.
Fuck that. You know what? I'm 21. I'm ready to be outside.
No,
You know
yeah,
what I'm
I'll
saying?
support it.
I got a
I'll
shit ton of
definitely
fucking
support
tattoos.
it.
You know what? Women love my fucking bottom lip tattoo. They love that shit. I didn't sure.
What?
My bottom lip tattoo.
Oh, let me see. That's hilarious.
That's fucking hilarious.
It says sit here.
Dude, tell him about the most personal one you got.
Oh, dude, I'm a fucking dick tatted.
I was just gonna say, I'm like, I guarantee it's his dick.
Yeah, dude, crazy enough. All right, so I'm not gonna punch her name because, like, anyway, one of my exes, I have a lot of them. Fucking list goes on. I have like the whole fucking alphabet full of exes. Well, my ex, he fucking tattooed my dick, man. It was awesome. It hurt like a bitch between the eyelids and my eyelids and my dick.
Yeah.
The eyelids hurt the worst, but it's the eyelids and the dick the worst. I was getting my dick sucked while I was getting my dick tatted. I have that
so
shit.
confusing.
Dude, I have the video on my phone.
No, I don't.
know.
Yeah, dude, it's fucking awesome. You know what? We're at the
Well,
fucking.
like I wonder. So
It's
going,
fucking
like,
awesome.
Would it hurt more if it was hard or soft? You just have
I
to
don't
do
know. I was
shit.
hard.
bro.
My dick was in her mouth. I was like, I didn't even feel it when she was sucking my dick. But when she stopped sucking my dick, she found out I was recording. She stopped sucking my dick. Caught an attitude. I was like, anyways, it was fucking great.
Got an attitude.
Anyways, fuck that. Anyways, guys, real men eat ass, bro. I firmly eat ass.
Facts.
My girl won't let me.
You know what's
I can't
crazy?
back
I don't-
that up. I've only ate her.
Have you
ass
ever
one
got your
time.
ass ate?
Yeah, she's only. She's only
No,
done
I
it
said,
once.
have you ever got your ass
once,
ate?
once. That's
It's
it.
fucking. I can't fuck with a girl who's like expects me to eat her ass, and I can't get my butthole.
You gotta
licked.
gradually work it in. Like work it. Like, oops, my tongue went down your asshole for a second.
Yep,
Yeah. No, I agree.
You have to like baby steps.
That's what I did, and then
I
we got in an
didn't do
argument
that.
after-
I didn't do that. I just flipped my baby mama over and just fucking.
And also, you have to like
suck the fart out her ass.
Because women love to like, they get turned on by being desired.
Yeah,
You know,
oh,
so
most
you,
definitely.
like one technique I use. I'm not saying it's you. Like you can use this in every scenario, but like when you tell a woman like, man, your pussy looks so good or your ass looks so good, like I want to. Oh my god, I'm dying to do this to you.
Fucking knows.
They're gonna be like, well, then it's gonna feel
do.
good. Versus
They're like, oh well, fuck. Oh,
can't wait for them to be like, please eat my asshole, because they're so conscious about it. But if you're like, your asshole looks so good, I have to eat it.
You know, we've been
this
together
guy
for
fucking
6
under
years.
fucking stands me, bro.
Well, me and my girl have been together for 6 years. We have 2 kids together, and it's a little different. You know what I mean? It's a little.
It is. I'm not
different.
saying like
But-
this is
No, I agree.
advice that's
I eat
going to
ass
work.
every
I'm just
chance
saying
I
that would
get.
be my approach if you wanted
If
to.
you wanted to,
Yeah.
yeah.
Nah, I'm a fucking. This guy has his fucking screensaver is a fucking picture of him
Of his
licking
girl's ass,
yeah?
bro. At Country
No,
Club
I'm a
right
firm believer in
Motherfucker.
fucking eating ass. You know what? Because I feel like guys, if you're not licking the ass, your girl's gonna fucking cheat on you, bro. I don't know. Me personally, like every girl I've ever fucked never fucking. You know, like that was it.
Yeah.
Threesomes. I'm a firm believer in threesomes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I fucked almost my baby mom. Me fucked a good amount of her fucking friends together, and it was fucking amazing. Like I felt like it made him stronger.
The
The fun
result
is-
of your masculine frame that you're going like, because you mentioned before, like telling women I'm gonna fuck your friend. So it's already in their thing. That's like,
Yeah, it's already in their fucking mind.
If they're not worried about you leaving them for your friends, if you're like,
I gotta
your
take
friends
a
out,
piss,
like, I want to be
guys.
with you, but like, we should fuck your friend one time. That's a statement that's gonna have much more success compared to a statement like, not a statement like. An approach like going behind her back to try to fuck her friend secretly.
So you know what?
If she finds out, that blows up everything versus like
just going up
talking,
to
just being
her.
direct and from the get go,
Yeah,
and being
I think
like,
that's what women like,
you
just
know,
honesty, bro.
I like-
hold on real quick. I'm gonna